guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to connect all of your granny squares together. So this is going to be part 2. In my last video I showed you how to crochet a granny square. So anyways, if you would like to learn how to connect them all together, then just keep watching. So the supplies that you will need is your granny square, some yarn, a crochet hook, and scissors. So you're just going to start by creating a slip knot and then setting that aside, and then I just stuck my hook into the corner of the granny square, added my slip knot on and pulled it through. Then we're going to start doing double crochet, so I just chained 3 since that's the length of a double crochet. If you don't know how to double crochet, you can watch my part 1 where I explained it in detail, but I'm basically just doing this same process. So in my part 1 video, it's basically the same process as the last layer that we left off on. So I'm just doing that one more time around the whole thing in this navy color. So I just did double crochet 3 times in each one of the chain 1 gaps. But for the corners, I did 3 double crochets, then chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then I did a chain 1, and then you just carry on, but for all the rest, it's just 3 double crochets. So it's pretty simple, and I just did that all the way around. Once you get back to the beginning, you're just going to stick your hook in to that very first top stitch, and then you're just going to slip stitch and chain 1, and then you can cut it off. So now we're gonna attach the second granny square. So I just created another slip knot, and I'm just gonna pull it through the corner again. And this time we're only going to crochet along one side of the granny square. So it's a little bit different this time. I'm not going to be doing the corner the same way starting out, but I'm doing 3 double crochets into the corner, and then chain 1, and then do 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 gap, and do that all along that one side. So next we're just going to connect it to the other granny square. So I actually did this wrong. You're going to insert your hook into the corner going face down, not underneath. I'm not sure what I was thinking for this first one. I ended up doing it right for the other ones. I don't know, I must have got confused. So once you stick your hook in, then you're just gonna pull up a loop and kind of just do like a slip knot by pulling it through the loop that's already on your hook. And then you can just carry on doing the 3 double crochets into the chain 1 spaces. And there's no need to chain 1 in between each set of 3, because when we connect it to the other granny square, that's basically like counting as a chain 1. So as you can see here, this is what I mean by sticking your hook face down and then pulling up a loop, and then just pull it through the loop that's already on your hook, and then yarn over and do 3 double crochets into that space. So I just did that along this whole side. So when we get to the corner, it's a little bit different. I don't know if you remember, but after doing 3 double crochets, we normally chain 2, but I am just going to be chaining 1, and then by connecting it to the other granny square, that counts as another chain 1. So that will count as a chain of 2, and then you just carry on and do 3 more double crochets into that same space. And then after that, I just continued doing the same thing. I did 3 double crochets into each of the spaces and then chained 1 before going to the next space. And I just did it around the whole square. So once you get near the end, I was just finishing up this corner by doing 3 double crochets, and then I chained 2 and I connected it to the very first stitch that we did at the top, and I just did a slip stitch and chained 1, and then you can just cut off your yarn. So next we're gonna work on connecting the next one. So I just did a slip knot and set it aside. And then you're just going to do the same thing pretty much. Stick your hook through the corner and pull it through. And it's basically the same process. I'm just going to be doing 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets, and just continuing that all the way along the whole side. So you're just going to connect it to the corner by sticking it face down in that hole, and then pull up a loop and pull it through the loop that's on your hook, and then you just yarn over and continue by doing 3 double crochets into that same corner. And then I kind of just did the same thing as before. I'm just repeating the same process by connecting the next square. So once you get done with the 3 double crochets, you're just going to stick your hook back in there, pull up a loop, and pull it through, and then do 3 more double crochets and continue doing that along this whole side. So when you get to this corner, you're just going to first chain 1 after you did 3 double crochets, and we're not going to connect it to the one above it, but the one that's adjacent from that one. Hopefully you could see what I did, but yeah, somehow that makes a difference. So just make sure that you connect it to the one that's adjacent from it. And then I just carried on doing the same thing. So I'm just going to be doing that all the way around the whole granny square. And then, like always, once you get near the beginning again, I just did 3 more double crochets and then chain 2 and did a slip knot in the very top of that first stitch, and then you just want to chain 1 and you can cut off your yarn. So now I'm going to show you how to connect the last one. So you're just gonna make a slip knot again, and then set it aside, stick your hook in and pull it through, and then we're just repeating pretty much the exact same process. So I'm just doing 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets, chain 1, and I'm just going to do that across the whole side of this one granny square. So next you're just going to stick your hook into that corner, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the one that's on your hook, yarn over, and do 3 more double crochets into that same corner. And then you're just gonna repeat the same process like before. Just keep doing that along the whole side of this granny square. So once I did the 3 double crochets into that last corner, so this is kind of a little bit confusing, but I don't know if you can tell, it's like really dark yarn on this camera. It's like dark navy, so it's hard to tell what I'm doing. So I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. There's like 4 corners in that navy color. So you're going to do the one that's adjacent from the one kind of like before, so it would be the top left one. I know it's hard to see on camera, but I just stuck my hook in that one and then pulled up a loop and pulled it through the one on my hook, and then continued doing 3 more double crochets into that same corner. And then I started connecting the side going down the other way. So you're just gonna do the same thing by sticking your hook into the gap and then pulling up a loop and pulling it through, then doing 3 double crochets into each of the chain 1 spaces. So it's the same process. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. It's just kind of confusing when you're first figuring it out, but it's pretty simple connecting all of the squares together. So once I got to the end, I'm doing the same thing by doing 3 double crochets, and then I chained 1 and then I connected it back in, so that would count as another chain 1 to make it 2, and then I did 3 more double crochets and then just continued along down side the other way. And then here I am back near the beginning again, so I'm doing 3 more double crochets into this last corner, chaining 2, and then I'm just ending it off here the same way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is how you would connect all of your granny squares together. It's a very simple method, so I hope this helped you out if you are just learning how to connect all your squares together. But yeah, here is my finished afghan that took me like about 3 years to make. I really like how it turned out. It's a daisy pattern. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!